today with the book haul. Woo! I am here today to show you some books in a book haul. I wasn't expecting to get too many between Christmas and now, but I just kind of figured that I did. The first one I'm going to show you, you may be surprised about. Maybe actually you'll probably be disgusted, but I kind of couldn't resist it. The first one you've seen in another video, and that is Batman by Mary Lou, but you did not see that I actually got a second edition. A second edition one, and this one is beautiful and it matches my Wonder Woman cover. I'm gonna show you. Look at how great they look together. Look at how beautiful they look together. Oh, I couldn't resist. So when I saw this, even though I already have a copy, I had to get it. And the thing is, I actually don't have a second copy anymore because I sold it to the secondhand bookshop. So I have these two, and they look beautiful together. These are the DC Icons books. This one is Batman, and it is Bruce Wayne when he's like 17 and he goes to Arkham Asylum. It's great. They just look so cool. These are the kind of books when I was like 12, 13. If I'd have seen them on the shelf, I would have thought, wow, that person is cool. So for that sad reason, I got that cover and sold the edition that I had. The next book I got is also another second edition. Actually, it's, oh my goodness, it's the third edition. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, illustrated by Jim Kay, written of course by J.K. Rowling. When I saw this book for a discounted price, I knew I had to get it because I'd been eyeing it up since it came out. I think this one came out 2 years ago. And the thing that sold it to me more than the illustrations like in the story was this inside the cover illustration of the greenhouse. Look at that greenhouse. It is, so I don't know if I can get all the detail in a video. I just wish I could be that amazing at watercolors, you know? It's beautiful. Those are the books that I already owned that I got second copies of. You'll be glad to know that's where that ends. But there are some more books that I'm really excited to show you. I'm going to start with the one that I'm most excited about. You might be super excited like I am. Maybe you won't know what I'm so excited about, but it is the novelization of Labyrinth. Jim Henson's Labyrinth. A.C.H. Smith, and illustrated by Brian Froud. And this is the novelization, so like the book version of the movie Labyrinth. And if you haven't seen Jim Henson's Labyrinth, it is the story of a young girl who, when babysitting her little brother, who she doesn't really like, her little brother is taken by goblins into the labyrinth, which is the lair of the Goblin King. And the Goblin King doesn't want to give it back because he wants to trap Sarah in there, and it's just such a great story, and it's such a great like visual. This is just a recent thing. It's obviously not the original, but in the background, okay, we've got illustrations from Jim Henson's notebook and notes from his notebook. Oh, the white balance is way too high for you to see that. Notes from his notebook and illustrations from when he was like designing the characters and stuff, and it's the story and it's the pictures, and I'm so excited. I'm just hoping I get the same sentimental value from this as I do when I rewatch Labyrinth. Some people are just so talented and I'm so jealous, but like at the same time you can't wish away that kind of talent because then you wouldn't get to see it. Moving into still exciting books, but I think that was the one that I was like bouncing around for the most. And I'm just gonna start, I guess, from the top of the pile here. So, Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I actually don't know too much about it, just that there's been a lot of hype. I really enjoy Holly Black's The Spiderwick Chronicles, and a couple of her other books I've really liked as well. She's not one of my like favorite authors, but she's an author I really appreciate and I really like. The Cruel Prince is a fairy book. I think it's the first in a duology, and I just, all the hype around it, I was like, I had a budget for books this month and I was like, you know what? I'll get this one. The next book you probably aren't going to be surprised about because it's booktube, and oh my goodness, booktube authors, yay! Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. This is a book about space pirates. An all-girl space pirate crew. Something I actually don't know too much about the plot because I haven't looked too much into it. Like, you know, this channel is small and I actually don't know too many other booktubers, right? Like, you got that from, this is the impression I give. So I'm just hoping that I really like this as a book because I really like the authors to watch their videos. I don't know them personally, but they seem like lovely people and I really want to like their book. So that's the attitude I'm going into this with. I like that there's like planet and galaxy maps at the start because that's quite cool. If a book has a map at the start, you're almost guaranteed it's going to be a good book. On with another YouTube book. This one is Undercover Princess by Connie Glynn, who is Nudorella on YouTube, and this book is I think it's a children's book about a girl who goes to boarding school, and there's another girl who goes to boarding school. One's a princess and one's not, and they like swap identities or something, and it seems just like a really fun, exciting book. I would have loved this when I was like 10, 11, so I'm hoping that as a 24, almost 25-year-old, I'm still gonna love it. As I flicked through it when I was in the shop, I was actually really impressed with the way that she opened the story. The first paragraph, I was like, you know what? I can get behind this. So I'm excited to try this out. The next book that I got is one that I wasn't planning on picking up, but then I would keep going back to it every time I walked by it in the bookstore. Like, I'd keep going back. And that is The Glass Spare by Lauren DeStefano. I actually don't know too much about what this book is about. It's a fantasy book about a princess, but she's like kept hidden because she's got like some kind of disfiguration or some power she's not supposed to have, and the king doesn't like that, and so she's kind of used as something else within the world that it's in. And that is not a great description. I kind of probably confused you. What really sold this to me, and the reason I kept coming back to it, was the fact that Laini Taylor like wrote a recommendation on the back, or a blurb, or whatever those are called. If there was a company that offered dangerous vacations inside of books, I would want to go into this one and travel the skies and the seas with its vexing honourable liars. Will's journey dazzles and DeStefano's writing entrances. This book is luminous and spiky like a pocket full of jewels. And I was like, if Laini Taylor, this like magician, writer, wizard, says something is that good, luminous and spiky like a pocket full of jewels, then I'm gonna trust her on that. The next book I got when I was in London, and there's this bookshop called Foyles, and it's near Soho, and it just has so many books that you don't usually see in Irish or UK, because it's in London, UK shops, because it's just one of those titles that's usually published in America, and that is Beauty Queens by Libba Bray. And I have been looking at this book since before I started BookTube. I saw Catty Tastic like haul it or review it or something, and I have been wanting to read it since then because I love Libba Bray. She wrote some of my favourite books, and I just thought the concept of these beauty queens who are on their way to some kind of competition and their plane goes down and they have to survive on this island, it just sounded like fun. It sounded like a fun book, and I wanted to read it because it just seems like it's going to be a guilty pleasure book, but also Libba Bray is an amazing writer who does these dark stories but makes them entertaining. I don't know, you have to read Libba Bray to understand. You know, the formatting is quite weird. It's like not a floppy book, but the paper quality isn't the highest. I was just happy to see it in the bookshop, which is why I picked it up. Next I picked up a book that I actually had to check a few bookshops to find, even though it's a book that's been around for a while and I've seen it a lot, but just when I went to actually go and get it, it would always be gone. This book is about these children who find a sleeping prince in a forest, and they wake him up and he's a fairy, and they shouldn't have woken him up or something. I'm doing so well with my plot descriptions today, guys. I think I heard someone say, and I don't know if it's true, that it's set in the same world as The Cruel Prince, but it's not a connected story. And I thought, if that's the case, I should probably read this first, just so as I can fully appreciate The Cruel Prince when I read it. Plus, you know, Holly Black, I like her writing. Fairies, that's interesting. And forests, I like forests. The fact that I had to search quite a few bookshops to find this confuses me a little bit, because it was a relatively popular book when it came out, and then it just seemed to go off the radar. So I'm hoping that doesn't reflect from the story. I'm scooching in to talk to you. The last book I picked up was Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. This is another book that was quite difficult to find in a physical bookshop, and when I did find it, it's got a different cover than I was expecting it to have, and I was kind of tentative to buy this one because it's like, is this one of those covers that the rest of the series isn't going to match? I really wanted the book, so I decided to pick it up anyway. The nice man behind the till told me that they were swapping over to these covers, so there would be the rest of the series in this cover eventually, and I hope he wasn't lying to me to sell me the book. What I can tell, it is set in this world where there are different types of witches, and this one can like sense the truth. And I kind of love this cover, even though it's quite Hunger Games-esque with the circle and the symbol and whatever. I quite like the colour schemes. I just think it's really pretty. With the blue, it's quite like aqua, which I like. I don't think that has anything to do with the plot, but I've been so rambly this book haul. Can you tell I'm like full of nervous energy today? I'm just like, I can't sit still. But I've got these, oh no, okay, I'm not gonna be able to pick all those up with one hand. I've got these books, look at me, BookTube, we're picking them up in two piles because I don't want them to fall, because I got some of them for their covers, so we're treating them nicely. Those are the books I got, and I'm so excited to read some of them. The thing I think the one I'm most excited for is that Labyrinth one. That Labyrinth one, I'm so excited to read it. Also, I want to read those illustrated Harry Potters sometime this year. The fourth one is coming out in October, and I want to read them again. You know, sometimes you just want to read Harry Potter again. I've been watching Lily C as she reviews Harry Potter when she reads them for the first time, and just seeing her theories and how excited she is about them has made me want to read them. I wish I could read them again for the first time. I want to reread them. Maybe I'll read the illustrated versions. And that's it for this book haul. Let me know if you got any books that you're excited about in the comments, and that's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye.